Alright guys, many of you asked me to do videos on specific styles of fragrances from each houses. So today I thought I'd pull up fragrances from the house of Maison Francis KURKDJIAN and focus on the ouds from this house. And there's a lot of oud fragrances coming out of Maison Francis KURKDJIAN. A couple of them have been discontinued, but I've got a total of 6 here in different concentrations. We've got some eau de parfums and we've got some extrait de parfums in this video, but a total of 6. I'm going to let you know about the fragrances and I'm going to rank them as well. So if you want to find out about the fragrances, the ouds from Maison Francis KURKDJIAN, then please stay tuned. Thanks so much for tuning in. This is Sebastian with Smelling Great Fragrance Reviews. Yeah, today I'm talking about Maison Francis KURKDJIAN and the ouds. I guess the first time I discovered the ouds from Maison Francis KURKDJIAN was here in San Francisco, just blocks away from me at Neiman Marcus. I instantly fell in love with the Oud Silk Mood, which I have in this video. So since then, since 2013, I also fell in love with Cashmere Oud. At the store in Paris at the, I forgot the name of the street, but it's been a while since I've been there, but I had ended up with a bottle there. But sadly that one has been pulled, and along with Velvet Oud, which I have in this video. But also we have your Oud in its original concentration in EDP, and then Oud in the Extrait, so different for me, the wearing experiences. And then I've got Oud Silk Mood and Oud Satin Mood in here as well. So I'll rank this and I'll let you know about them. And some of the fragrances that are discontinued are still available out there, so if you like the sound of them, better take action and grab them. But before I get to the fragrances though, if this is your first time tuning into the channel and you still haven't subscribed, please do click the subscribe button below and also click the bell so that you'll be notified for future videos and giveaways. So I had a early was it a Facebook friend? Because early on when I first started doing YouTube reviews, I think there was a way to chat with people. And either way, I was chatting with someone that lived somewhere away from any perfume shops, and I remember me communicating with this person about how exciting it was for me to try out the ouds from the house of Maison Francis KURKDJIAN. So basically they had launched the original oud in its eau de parfum concentration, and then they had also launched a year later, which the original oud came out in 2012. In 2013 they launched Oud Silk Mood, which was an instant love as I said, and then also Oud Cashmere Mood and Oud Velvet Mood. Oud Silk Mood, Oud Cashmere Mood, Oud Velvet Oud. So sadly Oud Velvet Mood and Oud Cashmere Mood are discontinued, but I've got them here and I will let you know what they are like. And they're all different styles of ouds, and years later the house of Francis KURKDJIAN, or Maison Francis KURKDJIAN, launched Oud Satin Mood, and it launched in the eau de parfum concentration, but now it also comes in Oud, the extrait de parfum concentration. So there's different concentrations in these ouds fragrances, and the luxury ones are the real extrait de parfum concentrations. Really amazing quality fragrances, very long lasting, very sexy fragrances. I think he's done a great job with the ouds. Sad to hear that the Velvet Mood and Cashmere Mood have been shelved. I love Cashmere Oud. I instantly fell in love with it at the Maison Francis KURKDJIAN boutique in Paris, where I bought the Traveler there. I wore that a lot, but I have a full bottle here. But let's get started with the video. The first one I'm going to talk to you about is Oud Velvet Mood, launched in 2013 as I said. Here it is. Thankfully I found the bottle recently, way before I thought about doing this video. And it is a great oud, guys. This one is very dark oud to me. It's velvet, it says, but it has very dark features. In the end, it features notes of oud, Copahu balm, saffron, and cinnamon. So there are some smoky touches and spicy touches with this one, but also I get leathery aromatic touches with it, but it's very warm and spicy, oudy and woody. So this one basically, you know, focuses on the oud, but it takes the oud into kind of like the leather direction, the spicy direction, but they're all kind of secondary players, not like a major player. Like for example, Oud Satin Mood will have oud, but it's not the major player. It competes with something like rose and vanilla, whereas here it's all about the oud. And you get the other players coming in, but they really can't compete with the oud because the oud dominates. That's the kind of fragrance this is. It does get balsamic and smoky. It's a dark oud, even though it's called Velvet Mood, Oud Velvet Mood, but it's a great scent. It's a dark and smoky fragrance. It's kind of wintry, has this kind of like a dark, moody kind of a smell. Even though it smells great, there are sweet undertones under there, but you're gonna kind of get through the smokiness and the balsamic touches and the dark oudy woody touches. Either way, Oud Velvet Mood is the 6th one I'm going to talk to you about today, or number 6. And the reason I'm ranking these lower are because they are discontinued, so they're going to be a little more challenging to find these. And I do have to Twisted Lily, or links to Twisted Lily for the fragrances that are still selling, and I have a discount code as well in the info box. You can go catch that. But the second one at number 5 I'm going to speak to you about is Oud Cashmere Mood. Again, these two that are discontinued are Extrait de Parfum concentrations, so they are really intense fragrance experiences, and they really smell fantastic. I fell in love with this one more at the boutique in Paris because for me, when I first smelled the 3, Velvet Mood, Cashmere Mood, and Silk Mood was just like, whoa, that's the best, rose and oud combo. So I basically didn't think about the other two, but on that trip, I instantly fell in love with Cashmere Mood because I said to myself, I already have that one, why do I need to smell it? So Cashmere Mood, to me, once again, 2013 launch, is all about oud with Labdanum, Benzoin, vanilla. And to me, it has these kind of buttery touches. I don't know where I'm getting that, but it's kind of a very soft, very supple kind of an experience. But in the end, you do have vanillic touches because it does have Labdanum in it, and it has benzoin and vanilla, but it's contrasted with a dark and smooth, kind of rubbery kind of oud, which takes it to another level. It's a great wear. Again, once again, it's dark and wintry, but with this one, Cashmere Mood, in comparison to Velvet Mood, does have brightness. It does get smoky, but it doesn't get as smoky as the previous one. And the balsamic touches and the ambery touches like the vanilla and benzoin brighten it up a little bit. Again, it's still a dark experience. Once again, we're competing with the oud, and they don't match up to the oud, the labdanum and the benzoin. Even though they sweeten it up a little bit, it's still all about the oud here. But it's getting close. The labdanum, the benzoin, and the vanilla are pretty close. They are very near that oud. But again, the oud wins out because this is mostly about the oud. It's a great oud. Sad it's gone. It's sad, really, it's gone. But if you can get your hands on Oud Cashmere Mood, I highly recommend that one. So now, the rest of the fragrances I'm going to talk to you about today are all available and currently selling. And the first one I'm going to bring up at number 4 is oud in the EDP concentration. So this oud is the first oud that the house of Maison Francis Kurkdjian launched. The brand was launched in 2009. 3 years later, they launched their first oud in 2012. This oud features notes of oud, patchouli, Elemi, and Cedar. So this is a kind of a straightforward oud fragrance. It's easier to wear. It's not as highly concentrated as the Extrait de Parfum fragrances that I just spoke to you about. And I personally do prefer Extrait de Parfum. I like the concentration, I like the intensity, but sometimes you don't want that intensity and weight on you as a fragrance. You want it to be a little lighter. And even though this is not necessarily like a wimpy light fragrance, it does wear lighter, especially when you compare it to the Extrait de Parfum version of this one. But it's a great oud. The oud is really prominent here. It's very spicy and warm. You do get the patchouli earthiness in here. That I kind of like that about it. And then aromatic balsamic touches come in as well for a great oudy experience. A great, classy, sophisticated, and kind of leaning masculine. I find oudy fragrances to be masculine leaning, so definitely this is masculine. But the freshness, because it is not necessarily, there's no warm notes. So when I think about warm notes, anytime you see a note like vanilla, labdanum, you know, amber type notes or benzoin and things like that, that's warm. There's nothing like that here. So there is a freshness about it. The experience is more fresh, but it's, you know, it's a great wearing oud, but it's, again, not so overwhelming, not so concentrated, and a little easier to wear. So this one's ranked at 4. It is Oud, the first Oud from the House of Maison Francis Kurkdjian from 2012. But 6 years later, the House of Maison Francis Kurkdjian launched an Extrait version. Extrait, the Parfum version of Oud. This is Oud Extrait. Oh my god, such a night and day difference between the two. So different. I mean, it's like they smell completely different. To me, Oud Extrait is so amazing compared to Oud because it is highly concentrated. I'm also getting the velvety, smooth butteriness that I used to get from the Cashmere Oud when I wore it. And this one, to me, kind of reminds me a little bit of Oud Satin mood, but not with the vanilla and the rose kind of a thing. So if you've been a fan of Oud Satin mood and you kind of got burned out on Oud with vanilla and rose, I think you can totally get away with this where it removes it. Those notes are not present here. But this Oud Extrait, launched in 2018, has notes of saffron, vanilla, cedar, elemi, oud, and patchouli. So basically you have similar notes, but they do throw in the saffron and vanilla here. So the vanilla adds some sweetness and some there's a kind of a thicker experience. Like when you wear them side by side, you'll experience the thickness in the Extrait compared to the freshness in the regular version. So the saffron adds a kind of a creamy factor to the fragrance. There's a little bit of a succulent suppleness about this particular fragrance that I really enjoy. And I do like Oud Satin mood a lot. So this one definitely is way up there. Doesn't compete with Satin mood or Silk mood, but I think it's a great oud. Takes the oud, the original oud from 2012 to a complete new level of amazingness. It's so good, guys. It's warm, it's spicy, very oudy and woody, slightly smoky, but really beautifully musky. I really love this one. Check it out. There's a little bit of a leathery touch in here as well. I do enjoy that part about it, but not overwhelming, just enough to give it like a interesting contrast to what you're wearing with the notes. It's such a beautiful fragrance. Oud Extrait at number 3. So at number 2, we're going to the very original Oud Satin mood launched in 2015 in the EDP. I do not currently own the Extrait. I believe there is an Extrait of this one, so I don't own it and I can't comment about it. But I really love Oud Satin mood in the EDP concentration. I know I will really even drool over the Extrait version of it, but I think the EDP is pretty freaking fantastic. So I guess the Oud Satin mood came out 2 years after the 3 Ouds. The Oud Velvet mood, Oud Cashmere mood, and then also Oud Silk mood. This came out as an EDP similar to the original Oud. Later they launched an Extrait of this one, which hopefully in the future I will pick up and do a video about it. But still, I think this Oud Satin mood is amazing. I really enjoy it. And I like it because I think the collection did need something more warm and vanillic, plus the addition of rose. So you've got a kind of like a gourmand going rose fragrance with oud kind of a thing. Not necessarily gourmand, but anytime you experience like vanilla and things like that, it does kind of go into gourmand kind of a direction. But Oud Satin mood EDP 2015 launch features notes of rose, violet, oud, vanilla, amber, and benzoin. So in the end, it's a vanillic rose combination with oud, has powdery touches. You do experience the violet here. It is in there. And then also it has the warmth and the ambery touches from the vanilla as well. So it is sweet. This is definitely the sweetest of the entire collection and the warmest, I think. If you like warm fragrances, you're definitely going to like this one a lot. I can't wait to test out the Extrait of this one, but I think this makes for a great wear when it's cold outside. Anytime warm notes are in fragrances are perfect for winter, I find. And sometimes you can have beast mode or really intense fragrances of oud and things like that. But still, if it doesn't have like vanilla or benzoin or any of these resinous sweet kind of notes, ambery notes, you can still get away with wearing it when it's warm outside because it doesn't have the cloying qualities that some sweet fragrances do. And again, there's no rules. I'm just kind of giving you a generalization of the types of fragrances. I wear whatever I want whenever I want. I would wear this in the summertime, but this is so good. Oud Satin Mood EDP. Let me know if you guys have compared it to the Extrait. Put a comment down to let me know how they compare. And finally, Oud Silk Mood Extrait at number 1. The first fragrance I fell in love with from this collection. It is a really, really great fragrance. Really smells fantastic. I absolutely love, love, love this one. It's an amazing scent. You know, I've smelled countless many fragrances with oud and rose. This one takes it to another level in its quality and amazing smell. Because it is Extrait de Parfum, plus it has a kind of a creaminess, something about the DNA of the ouds. There is that kind of creamy factor with some of the ouds that I get, and I get here as well. But this came out in 2013 along with the other Extrait ouds, which included Velvet and Cashmere. But notes feature blue chamomile, patchouli, rose, and oud. I also get in this one something a little bit like saffron and also either papyrus or cypriol. There is something like that under there that's coming through, but the combination is fantastic. And again, this one does not feature warm notes. They're a lot more cooler, so it doesn't have a lot of warmth to it. The rose, I guess it kind of warms up a little bit, but there's no vanilla, there's no benzoin, no amber or anything like that. But the wearing experience is intense, beautifully gorgeous, very, very sexy, and that combination of rose and oud marries so perfectly together. And that's why I think this is an amazing scent from this house. One of the best, I think. I'm so glad they didn't discontinue this one. Why Velvet and Cashmere disappeared, I don't know, but I can see that this would have a following over the others. And going back to those other two, as I was saying, it was mostly about oud, right? There was no other notes competing with it that it was trying to get ahead. Here, the rose is definitely, you know, getting ahead of the oud. Here as well, Oud Satin Mood, I think the rose and vanilla is a little more leading the oud. So the original ones like Velvet and Cashmere seemed a little bit more about oud, where they already have an oud fragrance and they also have an Extrait of the oud. So the other two seemed a little, I guess, not doing much for the collection perhaps. I don't know. I enjoyed those ones. I liked them and they were unique enough to own, but I think this and Satin, I think, definitely are probably the best of the two ouds in the collection. The Extrait of the regular oud is also great, but Oud Silk Mood is number 1. I highly, highly recommend it. If you're just getting into fragrances and you've never smelled an oud and rose, you can start with that one. That is a fantastic fragrance. Amazing one. Anyway, those are my thoughts. Those are my favorite ones ranked in the order that I prefer. Are you a fan of this collection? Do you like the ouds? Are you not familiar with ouds? Do you not enjoy ouds? Let me know. Put some comments down so I can find out. Either way, guys, thanks so much for tuning in today to watch my Maison Francis KURKDJIAN Ouds video. If you have any questions or comments, please do list below. Please like this video, please share it, follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and I'll be back with more videos very soon. Have a good one. Bye.